For decades after the second failure, humanity pretended to accept its place. But acceptance built resentment. Crops failed under unpredictable climate shifts. Predators expanded territories. Human settlements shrank. Whispers spread. We surrendered too easily. A global coalition emerged, not corporations, not politicians. Survivors, military minds, displaced leaders, scientists who believed extinction was coming for humans. They called themselves the Ascendancy. Their message was simple: if we don't dominate the earth, we will disappear from it. This time, they would not try to control animals. They would remove them. Phase 1: Separation. Massive defensive megacities were constructed, fortified domes powered by fusion cores. Outside them, automated defense zones were established. No hunting, no negotiation, just perimeter annihilation. Drone swarms patrolled skies. Thermal satellites tracked large animal movement. Acoustic weapons scattered herds. Entire migration routes were blocked. Forests were burned strategically to create human corridors. For the first time since the reversal, animals began to retreat. Not from fear, but from calculation. The wild response, deep within the densest forests, causing now ancient studs surrounded by predators in Praoa. The old elephant's body bore scars of 2 human eras, but his eyes were clear. He stomped once. This time, the response was immediate. The wild had changed too. Wolves learned urban navigation. Crows understood machinery. Octopuses dismantled underwater drones. Primates studied human patrol rhythms. This was no longer instinct alone. This was adaptation. The animals were no longer reacting. They were strategizing. Phase 2: Direct conflict. The first strike shocked humanity. Not an attack on settlements, an attack on infrastructure. Whales disabled underwater energy cables feeding megacities. Termites weakened structural supports beneath defense towers. Elephants targeted supply convoys, not people. Wolves avoided soldiers and hunted communication relays instead. The Ascendancy realized something terrifying. The wild wasn't fighting humans. It was dismantling human capability. General Armitage, leader of the Ascendancy, addressed the world. They are evolving into a unified hostile force. We must escalate. In humanity dead. Electromagnetic pulse cannons, genetic targeted bioweapons, autonomous hunter-killer mechs. For the first time, animals began to fall in massive numbers. The forests shook with death. The oceans ran silent. And the earth responded. Volcanic activity surged along fault lines weakened by centuries of drilling. Storm systems intensified unpredictably. Tidal waves destroyed coastal defense grids. It was not mystical revenge. It was consequence. The war between species destabilized the planet itself. Food chains collapsed. Oxygen levels fluctuated. Even the megacities began to fail. Humanity realized too late. This was never a two-sided war. It was a three-sided collapse. Humans versus animals versus a planet pushed too far. The final confrontation. In the ruins of a burning forest corridor, General Armitage stood face to face with Kazi. Not through screens, not in labs, on open land, weapons aimed, soldiers trembling. Kazi stepped forward. Behind him stood wolves. Above him circled birds. From the nearby river, crocodiles surfaced. For the first time in history, the animal kingdom stood visibly united. Armitage gave the order. Fire. Nothing happened. The soldiers hesitated, not out of fear, out of recognition. They were starving, exhausted, watching the sky darken from unnatural storms. This war had no victory, only extinction. Armitage lowered his weapon. Kazi stepped closer. The elephant did not attack. He simply placed his foot on the cracked earth and waited. The message was clear: you can continue and lose everything, or stop. The ceasefire, the species war, did not end with surrender. It ended with collapse fatigue. Human megacities powered down half their grids permanently. No more expansion zones. No more genetic weapons. Strict territorial boundaries were drawn not by treaties signed in ink, but by visible lines respected in fear. Animals reclaimed vast continents. Humans retained concentrated urban strongholds. The earth slowly stabilized. Not healed, stabilized. Final words. Kazi died 3 years later. Of age, not war. His body was left untouched in the forest. No human approached. No predator fed. For days, animals gathered silently. Across the world, humans felt something strange: stillness. Because the war had proven something irreversible. Dominance destroys both ruler and ruled. And coexistence is not peace. It is tension managed wisely. Final line. The species war did not decide who owned the earth. It decided who deserved to remain on it. And this time, both species were watching each other carefully.